everyone. Welcome back to the Lucas Tribune podcast, folks. We have a great show for you. Being busy used to be a sign of poor time management, but now studies show 83% of workers see constant busyness as a status symbol. Today, we're exploring how hustle culture became our modern religion and why that might be destroying us.
That's such a striking statistic, and it really captures how our relationship with work has completely transformed. It's like we've collectively decided that exhaustion equals excellence.
You know what's fascinating? Research shows that workers who regularly put in more than 50 hours per week actually show decreased productivity compared to those working 40 hours. Yet somehow, we've created this culture where overwork is celebrated.
Well, that's really interesting because I was just reading about how Japan, which literally has a word for death by overwork, karoshi, is now implementing mandatory vacation days and limiting overtime hours.
Exactly. And speaking of real-world examples, I recently came across this story about Maya, a freelance designer whose experience perfectly captures this phenomenon. She started out passionate about her craft but got caught in this cycle of constant work.
What happened to her specifically?
Well, she began taking on every project that came her way, afraid to say no. Her schedule became so packed that she was working 14-hour days, 7 days a week. Studies show this kind of schedule can reduce cognitive function by up to 13%, the equivalent of losing a night's sleep.
That reminds me of research from Stanford showing that productivity per hour declines sharply when a work week exceeds 50 hours. Beyond 55 hours, productivity drops so much that putting in any more hours would be pointless.
And yet, here we are, with 72% of American professionals reporting they feel pressured to be available outside of work hours. The digital age has basically eliminated the boundary between work and personal life.
So what's driving this disconnect between what we know about productivity and how we actually work?
It's this perfect storm of factors. Capitalism needs constant growth, social media glorifies the hustle, and economic instability makes people afraid to slow down. Did you know that since 2000, worker productivity has increased by 62%, while wages have only grown by 17%?
Those numbers really highlight how the system benefits from keeping us constantly working. But what about the health impacts?
Oh, the data there is alarming. The World Health Organization found that working more than 55 hours per week increases your risk of stroke by 35% and heart disease by 17%. And that's just the physical effects. The mental health statistics are even more concerning.
That's really sobering, especially considering how many people regularly exceed those hours.
Right. And here's what's particularly interesting. Countries with shorter work weeks often show higher productivity. Take Denmark, with its 37-hour work week. They're 23.5% more productive per hour than countries with longer working hours.
Well, that certainly challenges the notion that more hours equals better results.
Exactly. And research from Microsoft Japan found that implementing a 4-day work week led to a 40% increase in productivity. They also saved 23% on electricity costs and 45% on paper printing.
Those are some impressive numbers. But how do we actually start shifting away from this culture of constant work?
Well, some companies are leading the way. Buffer, for example, implemented a 4-day work week and saw a 91% happiness rating among employees while maintaining the same level of productivity. But even without company-wide changes, individuals can take steps.
What kind of steps are we talking about specifically?
Research shows that setting clear boundaries around work hours can reduce stress by up to 43%. Something as simple as not checking email after 6 p.m. can lead to better sleep quality and improve next-day performance.
That makes me think about how technology plays into all of this. We're essentially carrying our offices in our pockets now.
Exactly. And studies show that the average worker checks their phone 150 times per day. But here's what's fascinating. Companies that implement Digital boundaries, like no email weekends, report up to 35% higher employee engagement.
Those are compelling statistics. What other concrete steps can people take to break free from hustle culture?
Well, research shows that taking regular breaks every 90 minutes aligns with our natural mental cycles and can increase productivity by 16%. Even a 15-minute break can improve focus by up to 20%.
That's really interesting. It's like we need to work with our biology rather than against it.
And you know what's really powerful? When people start prioritizing rest, it creates a ripple effect. Studies show that teams with well rested leaders are 25% more likely to have positive work cultures.
So, in essence, we're talking about a complete paradigm shift in how we think about work and success.
Exactly. And here's what I think is most important: this isn't just about individual well being, though that's crucial. It's about creating a more sustainable and humane way of working. Because when we're not constantly exhausted, we're more creative, more innovative, and ultimately more effective at whatever we do.
That's such a powerful way to frame it. It's not just about working less, it's about working better.
Precisely. And on that note, I think it's time we practice what we preach and wrap things up. Remember, everyone, your worth isn't measured by your productivity. The research is clear. Rest isn't just important, it's essential for success.